Hi guys, welcome back to the tank. Quick video today. I'm just going to be talking about a couple of different things. One of the main issues in the tank at the moment is this green slime algae. Where my tank is situated, in the summer months it's not too bad with direct sunlight, but in the winter months, which we're obviously now in winter here in the UK, the sunlight drops quite low, so during late afternoon the bottom portion of this tank does get quite a bit of sunlight. Just as it's setting, it comes from down here and then this rock gets it, and then the bottom side of this gets it as well. So it does come off quite easy. You could just get a turkey baster or something like that and it does blow off. But one thing that I've not been doing when I have been doing that is I've not been getting it out. So I've not been siphoning out that algae. So the tank is running quite high nutrients at the moment. So I'm going to do a water change. So what I'm going to do is turn all the pumps off, turn all the power heads off, do my water change, and hopefully siphon off all of this green slime. One thing that I did want to mention though is the clownfish. So this clown is one that came from this mother, and for the longest time since it's been in this tank, it's pretty much hid down there behind the GSP. Barely see it unless it's feeding time, which has been quite disappointing. Obviously nobody wants to have a fish in the tank which you never see, but I've been spending a bit of time today looking at the tank and noticed that he's out a bit more. So I'm hoping that she's nice to him, and if they want to pair up, then that's fine. I'm not looking at breeding these two. Obviously there would be, I'm guessing, a stronger mortality rate and some defects with them being from the same blood, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm not going to try and promote breeding or anything. So yeah, I will clean the tank up and pick the camera back up afterwards. So, water change done, algae tidied up a little bit, and corals fed, if you saw in that time lapse. Before doing any water change, I always think it's beneficial to feed your corals. It just gives a good way to then export all the nutrients that are in the water from what the corals haven't eaten. It's what I always do. I don't think I've ever done a water change without feeding corals first. I have slightly neglected the tank in recent weeks. I've recently got a new job, so I'm not at home as much to do things with the tank, and I've also picked up an extra job, so I'm not interacting with the tank as much as I'd like to, or what I have done previously. It has literally just been a case of feeding the fish on a daily basis. So after that water change, NEM's looking really good. For some reason all these NEMs bubble really well. I've had them in other tanks and You know, people do say to me, how do you get your nems to bubble up like they do? There's nothing in particular that I do any different to, you know, maybe anybody else. They just work well. I did find my Hollywood Stunner chalice, which is there looking very brown and washed out. It was upside down, it had fell down behind the GSP. Probably been like that for a good week and a half to 2 weeks, if not longer. So I brought it back out into the light, and we'll see how it does there. Another thing I noticed was this Acan echinata. Now it's been dead for months. It was one of the first pieces in this tank, and it didn't look too good when I received it, and it slowly just melted away. So it went behind that Duncan in the middle there. It's been under this rock for quite some time, and I've just noticed these things on it. So I'm not sure what they are. I'm going to put the macro lens on and see if I can get a bit of a close-up. I don't know whether they're just sponges, or at first I thought it was Asterina starfish. I'm just going to pause this. So there we are, we're back. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I don't want to get excited and say it's new growth, because I'm really not 100%. Tell me what you think, if you think this could be new growth, or whether you think it is sponge, or if it's something else. Be really interesting to know what you guys think. Like I said, I'm not an expert, I don't claim to be, but it looked like new growth to me. So again, I'm not 100% on what to do, whether it's worth putting it back underneath where it has been, or now it's out in a bit more par, whether that'll help it come along, but we'll see. I did move this Duncan. I had this up there, and the rock flower nem was just annihilating it. So really shriveled up, not opening out, you know, tentacles not extending like this one or like that one. So I've moved it down there because I've got somebody coming to pick up this big chunk here. Didn't really want to get rid of it, but a guy, I've sold a couple of corals to him in the past, and every time he's come, he's seen that, and I want that. And I've said no, it's not for sale. But I have sold it to him now, so he's coming to pick that up in a few days, and I'm going to move this one that was being stung by the rock flower nem. I'm going to put that one up there, see how it does. Obviously do need to get back in the tank at some point and sort out all these horrible zoas, and then work out if I am going to remove that rock. So the big rock that you can see, all this, that's one piece. I'm considering changing that, just removing it completely to open up a bit more swimming space, because I would like another tang in here. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know I used to have a blue eye coal tang. Had that for the best part of 9-10 months, if not a bit more. It's growing really well, always eating, always picking at rocks, and sadly has passed away. Not Not sure why. Didn't see any signs on it, no fish was bullying it. But yeah, I do enjoy having a tang. I just like the way they swim, I like the way they look. And they are really utilitarian fish. They'll always, you know, good for algae control and things like that. So we'll see how we get on. Obviously I'm in no rush, and debating with the tang just because of the copper band that's in here. But the copper band has done its job. There's absolutely no aptasia in here. I have got my other tanks set up for the clownfish breeding, and a couple of frags that I'd put in there had aptasia on them. So I put the frags in here last night. There's a couple that you can see down behind this acan and Cyphastria, and they were covered in aptasia, and put them in last night just before lights off. This morning all the aptasia is gone. So he is an absolute powerhouse when it comes to aptasia removal, which is good. That's what I wanted him for. So yeah, he's done his job. And as you can see, the little clownfish is still out. So hopefully he does stay out more and more. And my large female, she tends to stick around up top in them nems behind the Poecilopora. So they're not too far away, so I'm hoping she does take nicely to him. It'd just be good to, you know, see her buddied up with somebody else again. So I think we'll end the video now. Yeah, if there's anything that you can shed any light on about the growth on this acan, let me know what it is. If it is new flesh, I don't imagine it will stay around long. I think between the filefish and the copper band, they'll get to work on it if it is new growth, because they did try and annihilate my other acan that I've had to move into the other tank. So yeah, and if you do want an update on the other tank, the Red Sea Max Nano, let me know and I'll give you an update on that. Thanks guys.